Alright, look out for Charlie here. Let's get straight into it. Some of you may know who Nicolas Cruz is, or Nick Cruz. He was the suspected shooter at the Parkland shooting. Well, the thing with Nick and every one of these other shooters, including the Boston bomber, was being attacked with quote-unquote voices or heard demons. Nick Cruz claimed to hear demons, and I was very happy to find out that he had done his own phone video, or home video, if you will. What I did was I checked out one from, I think it was Time magazine, yes, and this one, when I listened to it, I could tell, let's check it out, the audio had been heavily edited. And what I mean by that is I don't mean that they chopped stuff out, but they really fucked with the frequencies, and you can tell.
My name is Nick, and I'm going to be the next school shooter of 2018. My goal is at least 20 people with an AR-15. And
it doesn't even sound real. It sounds like, you know, if you go and look up like the 9/11, like the dudes that were doing their jihadi type wills on video, they were like laughing during their videos. Like even the feds and other people were like, dude, this is like, they were like joking, like they couldn't keep a straight face while they were doing it. Well, in this, when he gets done doing it, when he gets done saying what he's going to do, he's going like pa-choo, pa-choo, like he's doing like Family Guy, like Star Wars laser sounds and stuff after.
A couple trace rounds. I think I can get done. Location is Stone Douglas in Parkland, Florida. It's going to be a big event. And when you see me on the news, you'll all know who I am. You're all going to die.
There. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Can't wait.
Okay, but did you hear the sound? It sounded like wind. We're going to get deep into this.
You'll all know who I am.
Right there.
And when you see me on the news, you'll all know who I am. And when you see me on the news,
so all of it is just so fake sounding. But anyway, I found a version where the audio wasn't edited. It doesn't sound like it's been squashed and frequencies haven't been.
I'm going to be the next school shooter of
This is the one.
2018. My goal is at least 20 people with an AR-15 and a couple trace rounds. I think I can get done.
Okay, this is the one. It's like 2.5 minutes long, and I was able to really dive into the frequencies. So, I'm going to show you some stuff. Having 2.5 minutes of this guy's life, just audio, is a godsend. Had I had, 2 weeks of it before this event, it would be like slam dunk stuff. But 2.5 minutes is plenty to find stuff, because there's so many layers of this when you get outside the human speech frequencies. But first, let's quickly just take a look at the rumble sound after he says, y'all know who I am, or whatever.
When you see me on the news, you'll all know who I am.
Starts there.
You'll all know who I am.
Okay, so I just to show you, I took that spot and I pitched it. So let's check this out. That's not him talking. That's the actual rumble brought up. So, I mean, there's stuff clearly in the recording itself, but we're going to get deeper and deeper and deeper into that. One thing that I want to show you is, if you look at these, see this pulse, 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 pulse. So there are 6 pulses there that form a word. You know, it's kind of like how those ghost dudes will pull out the radios that switch channels really fast, pulsing fast. And then when a word shows up, they're like, oh my god, did you hear that? Well, if you look, these pulses form a word. So those 6 pulses are one word. So remember that. I wanted to show you that. It's important stuff. There are many, many, many layers to this recording that he made. Some of these are going to be very hard to hear. Some of these you're going to need good speakers or very good headphones or both. Some you'll be able to hear outright, but I'm going to show it to you, and it's your job to listen to it on adequate equipment. What I would also recommend, if this is the first video that you've seen that I've done, I'll put a link in the description, and maybe I'll pin a comment to check out my older videos, because this isn't a one-time thing. This is a big deal. It's been going on for a while. So this one sounds to me like it says, don't try to fool us, and then it says, this guy thinks we're stupid. Like I said, there's many of these in different frequency ranges, so we've got a lot to go through. So it's kind of slow. It's like, don't try to fool me. There's fool. Then there's don't try. Try to fool. And then it says, this guy thinks we're stupid, or guy thinks we're stupid. There's stupid. Guy thinks we're stupid. But something that I should point out before we go any further is these should not be here. Okay? They shouldn't be in the recording. There shouldn't be robo voices that don't sound human, that the inflection is all jacked up on. And that's another thing you have to remember when you're going over these and listening to them. You have to realize that they are generally slower or faster than human speech normally is, and the inflection is jacked up. So it'll say, like, you know, if I said, hey dude, what's going on? And then something else was to repeat it that used this system, it would say like, hey dude, what's going on? You know, it's very robotic and algorithm-esque. And now this one says, this is a completely different frequency. This is more of a CB type frequency, but it says it's going to cost you everything. Right there it says it's going to cost you. Then it says everything. Going to cost you everything. Now, this one is a different frequency entirely, and it says, go to your fucking school. Go to your, and then this word is fucking, and then school. Go to your fucking school. And then this says, sounds like it says, faster, save your family. This one says, it sounds like we have to blame this on somebody. Just play it. So we have to blame this. We have to blame this on somebody. Okay, this one's in a lot of fuzz, and it says, you have got to kill. You have got to kill. You have got to kill. Now I made a different version of it to bring that up to show you for anybody's ears that aren't as fine-tuned. You have got to kill. So he wasn't hearing demons. He was hearing somebody fucking with him, trying to get him to use a gun and do this shit just like every other one. Let's listen to another version of this. You have got to kill. Kill. This one is one of my favorites because the voice is completely inhuman and robotic. Completely. Like you can't say, this is a person. This is someone talking live in the background in a frequency that is not in the human voice frequency that I had to find and drag out. This robotic voice says he's talking about the shooting. And you have to remember the pulses that I showed you at the beginning of the video. Let's listen to it. So it says, he's talking. He's talking about the shooting. This is shooting. He's talking about the shooting. Now listen to a different version. Or a third version of this to listen to. He's talking about the shooting. Wow, he's talking about what? The shooting. Now this one says, it sounds like hypnotized your family. Which, when these things attack people like this, they say a lot of crazy shit. It's a different version. Hypnotized your family. This one, this one's really weird. It sounds like it says, he knows we are watching him. Him is here at the very end, but it's really quick. We are watching him. Here's a different version. And here's a third version. This is another one of my favorites, but I also have a few different versions of this one. This one is awesome. This is more of a CB type frequency range. The voice says his name is Nicolas Cruz. That's what it says. It says here his name is, and there's Nicolas, and here's Cruz. So I'll repeat it. Now there's a low end below that you kind of have to block out. Listen to the higher frequencies in this. Now here's a second version. Let's listen to this. Now here's a third. His name is Nicolas Cruz. This is just his name is Nicolas. Anybody should be able to hear that. Anybody. These types of transmissions are a little bit harder to hear. You also have to remember that these are not meant to be recorded. You're not going to catch a telephone call. They're very hard to pull out. These are meant to bounce off the sinuses, bounce off the head, and you're basically supposed to hear this via bone conduction. So they're hard to pick up, they're hard to pull out, and some of them are very hard to hear. A lot of them are much easier. Sometimes when there's a screw up, they're very easy to record. When other noise is present, they tend to ride on that noise as well. So it's what environment you are in. So this one sounds like it says, Nick, we're watching you. Watching you is right here. So watching you. Nick, we're watching you. So, there's that. It sounds like sending him with a gun. And then here it says, we have your family. There's a lot of that I found in here. Save your family. Save your family. We have your family. There's a lot. I found a lot of those. I'm not sure if I put them up to show you because there's like 50. So, but I picked the most palatable. We have your family. We have your family. We have your family. Then this one is real kind of muffled too. It's in a bad frequency range, but it sounds like it says he thinks we are coming to his school. He thinks right here, and then this one is we are coming to his schools right here. The school, to the school. He thinks we are coming to his school. So that's very, very interesting in this, because it's all in context, and those are the ones I picked, the ones that were totally in context and not pretending to be demons, because it's out of context, and I want people to see that when you go to find the stuff, it's there. Now, here's another robo voice that says this, and then it says, is a drill. The high end frequency says, is a drill. Here, I'll repeat it. So this is a drill. Here's a different version. Pretty crazy. Says here, we'll take your family. And then here's just the left channel. Here's a different version of it. Now here's one of the weirder voices. When you start getting into the lower mid frequency range, they can sound really bizarre. And a lot of these ones that hit people really hard are very mumbly sounding. But when you listen closely, it says, it's almost musical, like sing-songing. And it says, we are in your head, or we are in your head. We are in your head. So you have to ask yourself, what is this doing in this kid's video before he goes to his school? Now this one says, right here it says, we've got the pistol up to her head. What I caught in a lot of this, and it would be weird to ask a couple of the family members what he ever said, because a lot of this doesn't come out. And it sounds like what I caught is a lot of it is threatening his family. And it says here, it says, we've got the pistol up to her head. We've got the pistol up to her head. We've got the pistol up to her head. Now, this one is one of the berating ones. This is normal to find. I find this in every one that I analyze. You know, because it's never positive. It's always, you know, threatening or berating or belittling or whatever. And this one says, you are a fucking embarrassment. It says it slowly. You are a fucking embarrassment. Let's just play fucking embarrassment. Here's embarrassment. 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 Here's fucking. 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 You are a fucking. You are a fucking embarrassment. Now here, let's play a different version of this. You are a fucking embarrassment. So, you know, what is this doing there? And this is more of a CB type voice, and it says you have to believe them. And I'm guessing it's talking about the advice that they're giving him on the other end. I'm sorry, it's you gotta believe them. You gotta believe them. So, alright, there's a lot to ponder here with Nick Cruz and the demons that he claimed to hear. And everybody laughs, you know, all these people laugh and they go, you know, this guy's just saying that so he gets a lighter sentence. Well, that shit's gotta stop because it's happening all too much, to the point where they're not bringing that up in the court cases anymore. They're burying it because anybody with half a cup of common sense can figure this out, that something's up. Now this one says muffled, but it says we are all in your head. We are all in your head. Alright, I actually have a few more to go over with you that I decided to pull out. This one is a great catch. It says it's more of a whispery type voice, and you catch these a lot in the higher frequencies. And if you try to bring it down, it starts to garble up. It's like opening up a keyway. You know, all those tumblers, those frequencies have to fit in the perfect lineup to get it to show up. And this one sounds like it says exactly, shoot at airplanes. Shoot at airplanes. Shoot at airplanes. Here is another example of how pulses will form these words. Check this out. This technology is pretty crazy. Now, this one is more like a question. It says, how's that piss us off? A little bit. How's that piss us off? Now this one sounds like it says, in the fuzz, we've got your family. I'll just repeat it. We've got your family. Now here's an example of all, like a bunch of pulses. I'll play 10 or 15 seconds of it. There's a lot of activity going in that signal, and it's all around him while he's doing the entire video, the entire time. Here it says targets. He's the right target. Now here's some more communication that is going on during the video that he made. I'm going to point out a couple things after I play a few seconds of it. Okay, if you can hear the whispering in there, I'm going to play that again. Right there, it says, what's the damage? Right here. I'm going to play a different version of this. And now a third version of that. So there's some very, very interesting things in Nick Cruz's home video. Even for the naysayers or someone who doesn't quite believe this, you have to ask yourself, this kid's making a video in his backyard. What is that kind of communication doing in the video? What are those types of statements being made doing in his video that coincide and line up with exactly what this kid is talking about? And not only what he's talking about doing, but also the fact that he was claiming that he was hearing demons and voices. So think about that next time you see a news article of one of these incidents and look into it. Definitely look into it deeper. Because I didn't even know that the Boston bomber was hearing things until years and years later, and I ran into just a couple statements about it. And then when I dug further, I was able to learn more about it. So they're purposely and intentionally hiding a lot of this information. Alright, thanks for watching.